بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على رسول الله. أعزائي الطلبة والطالبات طلاب الصف الثاني الثانوي، إن شاء الله النهاردة هنتناول مع بعض model answers for questions in unit 1، أسئلة unit 1 من كتاب جيم. لو جينا نبص على الأسئلة اللي عندنا بتغطي الفوكاب الكلمات. السؤال بيقول لنا choose the correct answer from A, B, C or D. Number 1. My friend was given space by a doctor who I think saved his life. VCR, BCR, CBR, MRI. طبعا الانسر عندنا هتبقى مين؟ CBR اللي هو cardio pulmonary resuscitation اللي هو عملية التنفس الصناعي. نيجي عندنا النمبر 2. The young lady suffered space head injuries after the accident and was in hospital for 3 months. طبعا the gentle, severe, simple, comfortable. طبعا severe يعني ايه؟ حاد، يبقى suffered severe head injuries. Number 3. Ahmed was given a small part in the school play which will be. طبعا أعطي دور school play في مسرحية المدرسة which will be space on the school's theater. طبعا المسرح performed, designed, made, decided. طبعا هتبقى عندنا مين؟ performed يعني تؤدى. Number 4. The firefighters spaced quickly when they heard the alarm. طبعا the firefighters reviewed ولا reacted ولا reflected reversed. طبعا the firefighters were أو the firefighters reacted يعني تصدوا أو انفعلوا بسرعة، أو يعني طبعا رد فعلهم reacted. Number 5. There are various spaces for dealing with industrial pollution. There are various diseases, horrors, techniques, breakers. طبعا there are various techniques، يعني قلنا techniques دي طبعا أساليب. Number 6. The policeman was spaced from a wound in his shoulder. The policeman was spaced breathing, feeding, treating, bleeding. The policeman was bleeding. طبعا bleeding يعني ينزف. Number 7. The soldiers were lying spaced on the ground as they were wounded or exhausted. The soldiers were lying on the طبعا lying on the flat أو lying flat on the ground. flat يعني اتسطحوا على الأرض. Number 8 معانا always read the space before you start using any new electrical set you buy. Always read the directions, instructions, licenses, chapters. طبعا always read the instructions اللي هي التعليمات. Several people ignored the no smoking space and the police find them. طبعا find هنا معناها يغرمهم، يبقى several people ignored بيجهلهم the no smoking sign. طبعا sign اللي هي اللافتة اللي بتقول no smoking. بعد كده عندنا number 10. Scientists say that nearly 10% of the Earth's space is covered by ice. طبعا the Earth's surface يعني سطح الأرض surface. The doctor will give you a full space before the trip. The doctor will give you a full examination, importation, intention, ingestion. طبعا examination طبعا الدكتور examine بيفحص، يبقى the doctor will give you a full examination. Number 12. Parents should space their sons to mix with only good people. Parents should discourage, prohibit, encourage, pull. طبعا encourage يعني يشجعهم، يبقى letter C. Noor took the old man's arm and gently spaced him to his car or his chair. طبعا guided يعني guided هنا بترشد. يبقى طبعا pushed بتدفعه، ولا guided ولا avoided ولا neglected بتهمله. طبعا guided هترشده. طبعا neglect اللي في الآخر معناها يهمل. These exercises are good for your stomach. التمارين دي are good for your stomach. tissues, skins, bones, muscles. طبعا المعدة لها ايه؟ طبعا أنسجة ولا skins اللي هي الجلد، ولا bones عظام، ولا muscles اللي هي عضلات. طبعا عضلات المعدة يبقى muscles. Number 15 the nurses bathe the baby in a blanket just after his birth بعد ميلاده. طبعا the nurse wrapped, pulled, dumped, removed. طبعا wrapped يعني لفته. نيجي معانا ل question number 16 or سؤال رقم 16. By midday the sun had space high in the sky and it was very hot. طبعا rising, increased, decreased, descended. طبعا by midday في منتصف النهار the sun had risen يعني ايه؟ يعني ارتفعت. Omar's mother didn't space him to take boxing lessons because she believed that this was a dangerous sport. طبعا هنا يا ترى هنقول cause ولا prohibit ولا allow ولا cancel. طبعا عمر's mother didn't allow him. نيجي number 18 رقم 18. دكتور فاروق الباز is the world's greatest space in remote sensing. indicator ولا explorer ولا export ولا expert. طبعا expert يعني expert يعني خبير، يبقى expert. You mustn't tell anyone space. It's a secret between you and me. You mustn't tell anyone. طبعا الجملة منفية يبقى anyone ايه else. يبقى you mustn't tell anyone else يعني ما تخبرش حد آخر. طبعا كلمة else بتيجي في السؤال أو في نهاية الجملة المنفية زيها زي either. A doctor's first space is to take care of the patients. A doctor's first ability, potential, responsibility, ambition. طبعا doctor's responsibility يعني مسؤوليته. في برضو عنا أسئلة عن الitems. The audience was clearly delighted. طبعا audience اللي هم الجمهور was clearly delighted يعني مسرورين with the space of the actors. The audience was clearly delighted with the performance of the actors. Performance اللي هو الأداء. The word later is an antonym to the word. طبعا antonym يعني المضاد. مضاد المين؟ later is the antonym of yes immediately. طبعا later يعني متأخر. في عندنا هنا immediately, regularly, gradually, later. طبعا immediately يعني في الحال. Factories and building companies must provide safety equipment and space sure it's used and make sure. طبعا واخدين قبل كده ان make بيجي معاها sure يبقى and make sure. Husbands and wives الأزواج والزوجات usually disagree the best way to spend their money. disagree ايه يا ترى about ولا to ولا with ولا for. طبعا disagree about. طبعا disagree about يعني بيعترضوا على شيء، لكن disagree with مع البيرسون الشخص. The research for the coronavirus vaccine is done in space with the University of Oxford. yes يا ترى collaborate ولا collaboration ولا collaborative ولا elaboration. طبعا collaboration يعني المنظمة. أو with the collaboration يعني تعاون with the University Oxford مع جامعة أكسفورد. Number 26 رقم السؤال 26. The young actress usually replies immediately, comments on her posts. The young actress usually replies immediately. طبعا عندنا هنا at, for, about, to. طبعا ايه reply بيجي مع حرف الجر ايه to, reply to. Many young women stop sporting when they get married. many طبعا sports يا ترى going ولا letting ولا doing ولا making. طبعا doing sports. To be healthy you should exercise at least 3 times a week. To design, avoid, stay, remove. To stay healthy يعني تظل صحي يبقى to stay healthy. expression عندنا. Some governments forced people to stay home to stop the spread of the coronavirus disease. infected, infectious, infection. طبعا هنا العدوى نفسها النون اللي هو مين؟ برافو اللي هو infection. The word want. The word wound is similar in meaning to the word. طبعا wound يعني مجروح. يا ترى respiration ولا injury ولا health ولا injury؟ طبعا injury. طبعا دي ايه نهاية الأسئلة اللي معانا بالنسبة للفوكاب. نيجي مع بعض نشوف الأسئلة اللي على الجرامر. السؤال الأول معانا you space put on gloves before helping someone who is bleeding. you طبعا هنا you mustn't لو في يجب ان انت تلبس القفاز to help someone who is bleeding بينزف ولا had to ولا must ولا don't have to. طبعا هتبقى ايه you must. Number 2 young athletes space with this chance to learn and complete education. The young athletes must miss ولا have to ولا don't have to ولا mustn't. يبقى young athletes mustn't miss يعني لا يجب أن. You space woke up the hill because there is a bus. طبعا you space woke up the hill طبعا يصعد التل because there is a bus. You don't have to ولا you must ولا mustn't ولا have to. you don't have to walk up the hill برافو because there is a bus لأنه يوجد طبعا هنا بإيه بيدوله نوع من طبعا اللي هو عدم الضرورة. Athletes space get a special heart examination. It's suffer to do this. Athletes mustn't ولا must ولا don't have to ولا didn't have to. طبعا athletes must يعني يجب أن أو ينبغي أو طبعا يجب أن. Many or my children space study ancient history at school next year. next يبقى ده future. يا ترى نقول have to ولا must ولا needn't ولا don't have to. yes برافو يبقى my children have to study حاجة طبعا ضرورة خارجية يعني هم مش مختارينها ولكن دي ضرورة من الخارج have to. You space drive fast in the city center. It's very dangerous. طبعا dangerous يبقى ايه يبقى mustn't. Number 7 we space buy souvenirs for our friends while we are here. we طبعا هنا بيدي advice نصيحة يبقى we ايه أو تذكرة. we must buy يعني طبعا هنا هنا تذكرة قوية we must buy يجب ان احنا نشتري souvenirs. my staff and I space work 12 hours a day for 6 days. يا ترى mustn't ولا need ولا have to ولا doesn't have to. طبعا my staff and I have to يعني have to طبعا معناه يجب أن. My father space work today because it's a holiday. My father must or had to ولا has to ولا doesn't have to. طبعا مش ضروري يشتغل لأن دي أجازة، يبقى إيه doesn't have to. Most school children in Britain space wear a school uniform. Most school children in Britain yes have to. طبعا دي ضرورة خارجية. You space spend too much money. You will want some of for your holiday. You mustn't spend ولا you have to ولا you can't ولا you must. طبعا you برافو you mustn't. طبعا هنا بيذكروا ان طبعا لسه الاجازة. Number 12. We space give our homework to the teacher until next week. We had to ولا we mustn't ولا we don't have to ولا we were to. Yes, we don't have to. برافو. Number 13. You space pass your exams to go to university. You طبعا هنا حاجة ضرورة غصب عني يبقى you have to. I really space phone Mazin. I promised I would phone him as soon as I had any news. I really yes I really must لأن طبعا هنا promise وعد. Yes. Number 14 sorry. Number 15. You space take this crowded train. There is another one in 10 minutes. Yes you طبعا هنا مش ضروري تاخد لأن في غيره جاي يبقى you don't have to. You space speak so loudly on your mobile phone. It's very annoying. يعني حاجة مزعجة annoying أو يضايق. You needn't ولا should ولا don't have to ولا you mustn't. طبعا هتبقى برافو you mustn't لأن طبعا بيزعج الآخرين فطبعا you mustn't. Office staff space wear a suit but they should look smart. Mustn't, shouldn't, don't have to, cannot. Office staff yes bravo you. Office staff don't have to. Office staff don't have to. Number 18. Don't forget to take your wallet. wallet يعني المحفظة. You space have your driving license with you when you drive. You don't need to ولا you have to ولا you need ولا you have to. Yes you have to have. You have to have. We space forget to take the chicken out of the freezer. We don't have to forget ولا we haven't to ولا we mustn't ولا we don't need. طبعا هتبقى we mustn't برافو لأن طبعا التذكرة القوية أو التذكرة لإما must أو mustn't. طبعا mustn't بالنفي we mustn't forget يعني لا يجب إن احنا ننسى. طبعا دي تذكرة قوية. Son space work next weekend. Mother الأم ردت if you are free let's go. Do you have to ولا can you ولا mustn't you ولا have you to. طبعا yes son do you have to. Number 21. You space phone him because I have already talked to him. You mustn't have to don't have to ولا hadn't. You برافو you don't have to. We space give him our answer today or we will lose out on the contract. يا ترى we needn't ولا we have to ولا we shouldn't ولا we don't have to. We برافو. we have to give him our answers. يعني يجب ان احنا ايه نديله الاجابات بتاعتنا اليوم. you space phone me at work we aren't allowed personal calls. you طبعا في allowed يبقى في ايه؟ يبقى في mustn't. في allowed يبقى في mustn't. you mustn't phone me at work. you space come if you don't want to. you space come if you don't want to. you must, you mustn't, you don't have to, you will have to. you yes, you don't have to. برافو. نيجي عندنا النمبر 25. he space sign anything if he doesn't want to at this age. he must, he doesn't have to, he has to, he had to. yes, he doesn't have to. يبقى he doesn't have to sign anything. لا يجب ان هو يوقع على شيء if he doesn't want to at this stage في هذه المرحلة. بعد كده عندنا new drivers space take a rest in order to get a driver's license. it's allow. طبعا allow قانون يبقى ايه يا ترى mustn't ولا must ولا don't have to ولا had to؟ طبعا it's ايه أو new drivers must. طبعا القانون ذاته must. أما تنفيذ القانون فبيبقى مين؟ have to. يبقى نص القانون must إنما تنفيذه اللي هو you have to. Americans space pay taxes every year. They have no choice. Americans mustn't, have to, cannot, don't have to. طبعا Americans yes have to. طبعا هي الوحيدة عندنا اللي فيه إثبات، فطبعا هو إيه مفروض إن هم بيدفعوا الضرائب سنويا، فطبعا دي حاجة إلزام خارجي. if Rashid wants to become a professional musician he space practice every day. طبعا هنا he is having, has to, have to, needn't. طبعا he has to يعني هي مغمضة كده مش محتاجة he has to. نيجي number 29. Mom, I don't want to clean my room. Space it right now. Mother, yes, right now. Have I to clean? Do I must clean? Do I have to clean? Must I have to clean? yes طبعا ما ينفعش عندنا نقول do must I have to. هي طبعا هتبقى ايه do I have to. do I have to clean. نيجي لي number 30. You mustn't park here. It means that it's necessary to park here. It isn't necessary to park here. It's against the law. Parking isn't forbidden here. طبعا مين الأقرب ومين الصح؟ It's against the law. طبعا لأن mustn't بتساوي it's against the law. لكن forbidden مفروض أقول parking is وليس isn't. Parking is forbidden here. Parking is forbidden. لكن احنا عندنا اللي بتساوي mustn't it's against the law. طبعا هنا نهاية الأسئلة لمين؟ الquestions اللي على اللانجوج أو الجرامر. لو جينا نبص على general questions بسرعة. The students space the experiment well so the teacher gave them a good mark. طبعا عندنا exam على lesson 1 و 2 أو أسئلة عامة عليهم. The students space the experiment well. يا ترى made ignored performed ruined. طبعا ruined يعني دمروها. طبعا هنا هتبقى ايه؟ yes هتبقى performed يعني يؤدي. Lifeguards are trained on space CPR as they save people from drowning, dying, making, inventing, designing. طبعا CPR بيجي معاه ايه؟ yes زي عندنا dying يبقى dying CPR أو do operation. The ambulance carried the accident victim يعني ضحية الحادث quickly to hospital as he had space injuries. gentle, severe, simple, useless. طبعا severe يعني ايه؟ يعني حاد. Yes, severe accidents or severe injuries يعني جروح ايه شديدة. My father has a large carpentry space and he always fixes things at our house. tool, device, kit, ترامو طبعا هتبقى ايه؟ يس برافو طبعا كلمة kit. kit يعني ايه؟ العدة بتاعته kit. The government insists on space and action to prevent people from polluting the Nile. Making an action, encouraging, avoiding, dying. طبعا كلمة action بيجي معاها ايه؟ برافو بيجي معاها yes doing. Doing an action to prevent. We went to a special course to learn how to give first space to accident victim. To give first help, aid, drug operation. اسمها first aid. aid يعني ايه؟ يعني إسعافات أولية. اسمها first aid. The doctors said that the boy was space and didn't need medicine. The boy was average, heart, common, normal. طبعا مش محتاج علاج يبقى هو ايه normal يعني طبيعي كويس. and didn't need يبقى هنا normal كويس. The word incompetence. The word incompetence can be the opposite to the word routine, system, space, skill. طبعا opposite to the word skill طبعا دي مهارة. The space who took part in the Olympics were tested for drugs. The athletic ولا athletics ولا athletes ولا reporters. The who took part in the Olympics. طبعا البيرسونز نفسها يبقى ايه؟ The athletes. Children are advised to visit a dentist space to keep their teeth healthy. Gradually, regularly, scarcely, rarely. Children are advised to visit a dentist. Yes. هتبقى ايه؟ regularly يعني بانتظام. The food safety organizations cannot space all the food that's sold. We should help them. Produce, check, damage, save. طبعا we should هنساعدهم يبقى ايه؟ يبقى check يعني يفحصوا الايه؟ الأطعمة. We will have to wait for space 3 weeks for the results. We will have to for another 3 weeks, other 3 weeks, others else. طبعا ايه another 3 weeks. طبعا other بيجي وراها جامع ولكن another بيجي وراها number. another بيجي وراها مفرد او بيجي وراها رقم. The word illness is a synonym to the word virus, treatment, disease, cure. طبعا synonym يعني مرادف هتبقى ايه؟ yes هتبقى disease. Muhammad Salah became the first Egyptian footballer to win a major European match, trophy, reward, present. طبعا ايه European trophy اللي هو مين؟ الكاس الأوروبي. Khalid decided to space up a new sport at the sports center. Khalid decided to take up a new sport ولا do up a new sport ولا give up ولا practice a new at the sports club. Yes, Khalid decided to take do a new. طبعا هي في do a new sport بس أنا بقول إيه take up يعني إيه هيقوم أو هينفذ لعبة جديدة. ينشغل بلعبة جديدة يبقى take up. They may see us talking or they will suspect something. they had to, mustn't, didn't have to, cannot. they had to ولا mustn't ولا didn't have to. طبعا they mustn't see us talking. mustn't يعني لا يجب أو ينبغي إن هم يشوفونا بإيه؟ بنتكلم. يبقى they mustn't see us talking. I space arrive at work at 9 sharp. My boss is very strict. I need arrive ولا I needn't ولا I mustn't ولا I have to arrive at work at 9. I طبعا هتبقى ايه؟ ضروري يبقى I have to. برافو. Number 18. So has space work such long hours. She can complete her work tomorrow. Suha doesn't have to work ولا must have ولا has to ولا mustn't. Yes يبقى سهى برافو. سهى ايه؟ doesn't have to. عايزاكم تفكروا ايه قبل ما نقول الانسر، قبل ما نقول الاجابات تكونوا انتوا قلتوها. Number 19. You space wash your hands before you eat. You had to ولا you mustn't ولا you must ولا you don't have to. You space wash your hands. You طبعا دي نصيحة قوية تبقى ايه؟ you must. Number 20. You space ride bicycle in this park. It's forbidden. طبعا مجرد ما نشوف كلمة forbidden يبقى you ايه؟ you mustn't. You space follow the rules or you will get fired. You mustn't follow ولا you have to ولا you don't have to ولا you had to. You طبعا you have to. طبعا غصب عني ف you have to. My brother space give his homework tomorrow. My brother didn't have to ولا had got to ولا mustn't ولا has to. طبعا my brother هي ايه؟ my brother والضرورة يبقى my brother has to. نيجي number 23 رقم 23 معانا. When my father is on holiday, he space get up early. When my father was on holiday, he space get up early. He mustn't ولا doesn't have to ولا needn't ولا must. When my father is on holiday, he yes he doesn't have to مش ضروري. yes برافو. You space go when the traffic lights are red. You have to go ولا you don't have to ولا mustn't go ولا had to. طبعا you mustn't go. you mustn't go يعني لا ينبغي ان انت تتحرك والاشاره حمراء. طبعا هنا فيها prohibition تحريم. Number 25. Does Ahmed space study very much tonight? No he doesn't. Does Ahmed have to or must ولا has to ولا allowed. Does Ahmed have to. برافو. طبعا انا عايزاكم نكمل اللي بيجي معاها do و does و did اللي هي have to. do و does و did اللي هي مين؟ have to. does he space type this letter now. طبعا now الآن يبقى does he برضو have to. ما ينفعش نقول has لأن does أصلا بتجيب معاه المصدر. وطبعا now present يبقى ايه؟ does he have to. Do you know if we space have visas to visit the Sudan? Do you know if we don't need ولا needn't ولا have to ولا need. طبعا do you know if we don't need needn't have to need. برافو. ليه؟ we have to يعني هل ضروري ان احنا يكون معانا الفيزا have to. He has got a lung problem and his space go to hospital every 2 weeks. يا ترى mustn't ولا doesn't have to ولا have to ولا has to. طبعا هتبقى ايه معانا؟ سوري لسه في رقم. he has got a lung problem and he space go to hospital. طبعا he has to you space see a doctor your leg is bleeding. you space you mustn't ولا don't have ولا you must see. طبعا you must ضرورة أو نصيحة قوية، أو طبعا دي طبعا ضرورية في المعنى الأدق ليها اللي هي ضرورة قوية. if you wish to become a doctor you space study medicine. if you wish لو أنت عايز تبقى طبيب you طبعا you إيه you have to طبعا ضرورة مفروضة من الخارج you have to. fill in the gaps. CPR perform severe emergency bleeding bandage. First aid is the first and immediate assistance given to any person suffering from either a minor طبعا minor يعني ثانوي or space illness or injuries. يبقى تبقى مين عندنا number 1 or yes severe يعني ايه؟ يبقى number 1 هتبقى عندنا severe. يبقى severe دي تبقى number 1. all people who work in space services know how to space first aid. طبعا who work in emergency طبعا اللي بيعملوا في مين في الامرجنسي اللي هم الطوارئ. all people who work in emergency services know how to space first aid. how to perform يعني ايه؟ يعني يؤدوا او يستخدموها. perform يبقى number 3 معانا هتبقى perform. some health centers provide courses on first aid to people who want to help others. they are trained on basic rules such as knowing the use of space or applying direct pressure. طبعا عندنا bandage يعني اللي هم عندهم ضمادة or applying direct pressure on a bleeding. they also teach people how to do a CPR to any patient. طبعا CPR اللي هو عملية التنفس الصناعي. لو جينا نبص على الباسج اللي معانا choose the correct answer. a teacher is speaking to his students before the final test. you are going to have a test today. you don't have to ولا you must remember that it's very important. طبعا you must يبقى هنختار كلمة مين؟ هنختار كلمة must. that it's very important to get the full mark. you don't have to ولا you must hurry. طبعا you برضو you don't have to hurry. there is a plenty of time في وقت أكتر. you mustn't ولا you don't have to speak during the test. you mustn't speak during the test. you don't have to or mustn't write in pen. طبعا you don't have to. you can write in pencils. you must or mustn't revise your answer. طبعا you must. when you have finished you can leave but you must ولا mustn't be noisy. you mustn't answers. A healthy lifestyle has become more important with the spread of new diseases. Healthy food and sport are the most important factors. طبعا factors يعني عوامل of it. Coronavirus known as COVID-19 caused great changes to our lifestyle. The curfew and the closures of many public places forced us all to stay at home. Tourism is the second most important source of hard currency in Egypt. طبعا إن شاء الله نعمل لهم حلقة لوحدهم، ولكن لو جينا نعمل لهم مراجعة سريعة. Yes aren't only the partners of today. The partners but also the leaders of tomorrow. طبعا الشباب ليس فقط. طبعا الترانسليشن هم أحزاب هذا اليوم أو شركاء اليوم ولكنهم قواد غدا. You are full of energy and enthusiasm to learn, act to achieve. طبعا الكلمات اللي عندنا ممكن تساعدنا في translation. طبعا دي الترجمة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.